let us start off. You may have seen him also in Deadwood and Fear the Walking Dead, the former chief of the charming police department, Chief Wayne Unser himself. Let's hear it for Dayton Callie. Go for it. There we go. There we go. We did it. We did it.
Everybody, that was amazing. Get me to do that.
That's the hardest part, Dayton. Now it's smooth sailing. You can kind of recline back, kind of chill. Where are you calling in from?
Where am I? Oh, California.
Nice. Nice.
North of Glendale, Pasadena. Up there, I'm hiding in the woods.
Yeah. Kind of escaping from things a little bit right now, right?
Yeah,
as best you can. Well, thank you for joining us. Let's get the other gentleman out here. You've seen him in Good Game and many Law and Order appearances. He's the bookkeeper for Sam Crow, Chucky Marstein. Let's give it up for Michael Ornstein.
Hello, Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Michael. Thank you so much for joining us. Is that there's some beautiful art in the back there. Is that your art or is that art that you've collected?
Yeah, it's my stuff. It's my studio here.
Oh my God.
Where's the stuff in the stolen room?
Oh, the stolen room I can't show you.
He's only got the originals behind him. The good stuff is around the corner somewhere, right?
Yeah.
In the secret room. Awesome. Let's bring out owner of Illusion Cycles. That's a real awesome bike stop that you can go to. Founder and lead guitarist of Attica 7. He played the president of the Nomad Crew, member of Sam Crow. You've seen him in Mayans as well. Playing Rane Quinn. Let's hear it for Rusty Coones.
Hello, Rusty. There you are.
Oh, hello.
That's funny.
Rusty, thank you for joining us. Where are you calling in from?
Redondo Beach, California.
There we go. 2 Californians. And Michael, I forgot to ask, I know we talked about it a little beforehand. Tell us where you're zooming in from.
I'm in Ohio.
Yeah. We're representing different time zones here. I'm in New York, so we got the whole coast to coast. We have folks watching in the UK and also in Australia. So we are hitting all the time zones out there. So we appreciate all the fans for watching. Let's bring out our final gentleman on this panel today. You've seen him most recently in Snowpiercer. Awesome TV series. If you haven't checked it out yet, he was in True Detective, a whole bunch of TV shows and films. He is true IRA member, the Butcher of Belfast, Galen O'Shea. Please give it up for Timothy V. Murphy.
Hello, Timothy. How are you?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Timothy, thank you for joining us as well. Tell us a little bit about where you're calling in from right now.
I'm calling in from my backyard in Santa Monica, California.
Very nice, very nice. It looks like it's a pretty nice day out there in California, yeah?
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Blue skies.
Very nice, very nice. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining. As I mentioned, we have, look, Chelsea Thomas, 32. Michael says, I'm a huge fan of your art, Michael. So we've even got fans chiming in already. They're going to be asking questions. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But I want to kick things off. So we'll get to some fan questions in just a bit. Let's talk about the legacy of this show. My gosh, 7 seasons, one of the highest rated series on FX. And this was during a time, and I hate to say during a time like it was ancient times, this is 2008 to 2014, but there were a ton of other dramas on, not same storyline, obviously, but similar sort of feel to them. But Sons of Anarchy really stood apart from the rest and became one of the most successful shows on TV. And what's super interesting now is now that we're kind of all stuck at home, it's one of those things that people are going back and rewatching or watching for the first time. I'd love to just go around the room. Let's start with you, Dayton. Just tell us a little bit about what it feels like to be part of a show that's got that longevity and that legacy. Dayton, you obviously were with the show the longest, maybe seconded only by Michael here. And then Rusty and Tim, I know you guys came on like a little bit later in the show's seasons. But Dayton, tell us what it's like to know that people are still loving and still watching the show.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. I mean, you think, a lot of shows, you do some stuff and it dies and you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
But, I still get people like fan mail all the time, which I don't know why it's only once. But anyway, they get fan mail all the time saying how much they love the character, how much they did that, and, they tell me Michael Ornstein stinks and how it was like working with him. But you know, it's you get proud of something. You know, there's not much stuff you can be proud of on TV. You know.
Yeah.
And to be able to do something that you don't have to duck and hide when people see it, it's really special. It's kind of nice. I mean, not kind of nice. It is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I mean,
over 7 years, you get to work with a lot of, these guys are great, man. It was like fun to go to work. You know? But that's off a little other subject. But
no. It's so awesome to hear, and that's what today's all about. It's a celebration of the show, and again, huge fan at the time, and then now just rediscovering the show again. People are, which is super awesome. Michael, talk about fan favorite characters. Obviously, Chief Unser, man, we were just always trying to do the good thing, but always just getting stuck in the mix. Another character, again, always looking out for the club. You know what I mean? Gets kind of roped in there in the beginning, and then just looking out for Sam Crow the whole way through. Is Chucky, another fan favorite character. Again, Michael, tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a part of the legacy of the show.
Well, it's a trip. It's like a way of life. For a lot of people, it was very real. It really cut through a lot of stuff and hit people personally, and people from all walks of life. I met a 93-year-old woman who rolled up her sleeve and showed me a Reaper tattoo she had on her forearm.
Yeah. Surprised at the age gap that was, phenomenal from young to old that watched the show.
Yeah, man, just across the board, everybody loved this show. And I think it was a credit to the truthful nature of it and that it was universal. It's so rare to, be in a piece of work that's universal like that hits so many different people. Plus, we knew all the service members overseas were watching and, and I mean, it was just such an experience, man. It was just we had such a communication with our audience. We really felt them. We really, knew they were out there and we were working with them. It was wild,
fun. You know what else, if I can, it was fun watching the way it went up every week with ratings and stuff.
Yeah.
That was, a lot of times it reaches a peak and that's it, but this kept building and building and building and building, which is unusual, and, I think Sopranos did that, it's one of those shows,
Well, and again, like a lot of competition out there, a lot of other dramas, you know what I mean? That not only on FX, but on, AMC, things like that you're competing with. But yeah, still season 3.
There was no competition.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like there were a lot of other things out there, but you guys were number one. So no competition for you, but a lot of other folks trying to get to Sons of Anarchy level, Yeah,
it was we were in our own kind of category, man. It was like a whole different scene. It was more than it was kind of like more than a TV show. It was like a ride that people sign on for, and and still, it's still very much alive. Like you were saying, new people come to it, and it's fresh. It's not dated. It's not attached to any specific time. It's timeless.
Yeah, and it's a real story of real people. You know what I mean? It's not I mean, there's obviously some TV glorification, sure, but we're seeing these motorcycle clubs. They were never portrayed like that before. They were always kind of schlocky and very stereotypical, if you will. You know what I mean? In other shows, but this really took a deeper look into the life of them.
Part of what people liked, I think, about it was the unpredictability of the show.
Yeah.
You never knew who was going to get killed. We never knew who was going to get killed. You know what I mean? You knew when Tim came on that he was going to kill somebody. He's going to kill somebody. This guy, I didn't know anything about it. It's going to kill somebody.
Yeah, let's segue. Let's segue to Tim. Tim, you come on as part of the True IRA, and the Irish obviously a big part of the show. What was it like to come on as this big character that's there for 3 seasons, ultimately becomes kind of the main antagonist in the end? Working with Sam Crow up front, but then becomes a big antagonist. But everybody kind of flips throughout the series, in general. But yeah, tell us about coming in kind of at the height of the success of the show, really, and being the new kind of big bad, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of the show, so it was a great. It's great for an actor to come on such a big show at the time, and it's daunting the first day. I think I had a big speech on one of my first days to all the club members, and they're all waiting to see if you're going to fucking perform or not. And it's like, if you don't perform, you're fucked, basically. So I probably can't say this, can I?
Oh no, we're good. This is anything you want to say. Where there's no limitations. So go for it.
Great, because I speak like that normally. So it was amazing, and I as an actor, I mean, I can't think of a better job than what the boys were doing. They get up on a summer morning, ride their bikes to work, act like tough guys, and then ride their bikes home. I mean, you can't get a better freaking job in LA, and they go home to their own houses as well at night. It's fantastic. As far as playing the bad guy, I love playing the bad guy. You just give people a hard time, and that's it.
Rusty, let's speaking of bringing in those real bikers. You are a biker yourself. You have a motorcycle shop. Tell us, was that how you got connected to the series, and what was it like coming in again at the heyday, season 5? You come in, and then now have joined us there, and the appearance on the Mayans as well. Tell us a little bit about being a biker and then coming on this show that really represented those clubs pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. When I got there, the show was in season 5. And when I showed up for the first day of shooting, it was like a little city there. I said, damn, I didn't expect this. You know what I mean? They've got, food everywhere, people running around, 100 and something, almost 200 people on the cast and crew. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It was a good run. I had fun with it. I was there in 2.5, whatever, a little over 2 seasons, 5, 6, and 7.
Very cool. Very cool. This segues into one of our fan questions. We have a bunch coming through from everybody watching. So continue to send those questions through on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. This is from Joe Castillo. And I kind of know the answer to this a little bit, but his question is, did you guys work with real 1% clubs to learn the lifestyles and rules to being in a club? I know David LaBrava was brought on super early on, member of Hell's Angels. So I know the answer is yes, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, like what it was like bringing on these real motorcycle club members and learning from them and how that was.
Well, it was probably the closest to portraying people how they are in clubs. I mean, a lot of the drama, of course, it's a TV show, and you have to have a lot of drama that. In reality, I mean, if you did the stuff that was going on every week there, they'd have tanks bulldozing the clubhouse down, from the government. But other than that, it did get into, being more active with the way the club was ran, the meetings, the camaraderie, and a lot of that kind of thing.
Yeah, there was a few of the 1%ers that I guess they came in periodically. I guess somebody asked them to somebody or something. But
I don't know any of those guys.
The strangest thing is that happened to me. I went to Cave Creek. You know where Cave Creek is?
Cave Creek, yeah.
For what's his name, 70th birthday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was surrounded by 1,000 bikers, 1%ers and 2%ers and all the percenters.
Sure.
And I was there, and there was like 4 of us went: me, Charlie, Boone, and Gemma, Katie. And I'm trying to mingle in because I'm the only fucking cop there. I'm telling people I'm really not a real cop, TV cop, So and one guy. Big ass guy like Rusty comes and puts his arm around my neck, right? And I'm looking, and he goes, "You're the only cop I ever liked." Okay, thank you. But we got to visit around them and just talk. And I guess Kurt was and Charlie were getting all the information they could, and that's how Charlie came up with the sneakers. Because the new they made fun of them at first, like, fucking motorcycle, they don't wear sneakers, but the younger guys are wearing sneakers.
Yeah.
The older timers, they wore boots and stuff, right, Russ?
Right.
But
That's
then
right.
young guys were saying, they had shorts on and sneakers, and it was much more hip, You know?
What happened was is up in Oakland, Charlie went up there and visited. I guess a couple guys went up there, and a lot of the youngsters up there, they're into more of that scene with the shorts and
Right.
the white tennis shoes and all that kind of thing. And I was down here in the South, and I was like looking at them, what the hell are you doing, man? I used to tell my guys that you're not wearing tennis shoes. You know what I mean? You're wearing boots and Levi's, none of that. There used to be a rule in some of our charters, you don't wear shorts and do any of that stuff.
Right.
So there was this prospect one time that was told you can't wear shorts. So he, as a joke, he shows up at the next meeting wearing a dress.
That's hilarious. Well, but that's ultimately what the series is about, right? Camaraderie first, but then legacy. What the new generation brings, and so we see that through the 3 generations. From father to son to then the kids. You know what I mean? And how things evolve and change. But really, it's all about family and brotherhood in the end. And that's why I made it such a cool show. Michael, talk a little bit. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like Dayton was saying before, how you got it when you're dealing with like a subject matter, you got to make that subject matter real for the people who are actually living that life. And if it's real for them, it's going to be real for us. And I think that's the thing. We tried to make it as real as possible, so that it would pass the smell test of people who are actually in that life first, and then everybody else. And like what Dayton was saying before, there was a lot of uniqueness, because in life you see things that are very surprising, that are real. So, once we had the truthfulness of it, we were able to get unique with it and get surprising and show different angles, like the sneakers and like different things like that, to make it real and to make it our world. Once we had the truth of it, we could do anything.
Yeah.
And to make it real, Michael really does masturbate a lot.
All the time. I'm doing it now. That's why I'm cut off here.
Every day.
That's the best part of Zoom.
This whole time.
Dayton, I'm doing it. Can you talk to me a little more? Breathe.
Yeah.
Get him out of the trailer. He was in the trailer all the time.
Can I just say something? I want to say something about Michael. When he first, I didn't know Michael, he shows up on the thing and he's got these, he's doing what he does, and I'm to myself, this is nothing to do with his acting ability. Obviously, he was good, but I'm saying to myself, this fucking guy ain't gonna last one episode. And now he's in 3 fucking shows,
Yeah.
But I thought, what are they gonna do with a fucking guy with no fingers? You know what I mean? What is it?
Man, the first shot that I did was when I go into the van and shake Charlie's hand. I sit next to Ron and Charlie, and I shake their hand, and then I put my hand down my pants. And that's when I met them. I purposely didn't meet them until that shot, and that's when I really met them. It was great, man.
It was fun.
Method acting. Yeah, there's some great, some awesome characterizations on the show in general. That's what makes it so everybody's so unique. You know what I mean? From the main characters all the way down to just the bartenders and everyone's got like a personality, and that's what's so cool, I think, about the show. Yeah, when you see that
every
club,
single aspect. Yeah, like multi-dimensional.
Totally. Timothy, talk a little bit about. We talked about the research that was done, with motorcycle clubs. What I'm sure the IRA is a tough group to get in touch with. You know what I mean, and kind of figure out some things about. What was the type of research you did there to kind of learn a little bit about their organization and how that works?
Well, I was a member of the IRA, so I'm fucking with you. Arms would be smuggled from Boston to a fishing village just outside my town, and they'd be smuggled in big boats, and then the trawlers would go out and pick the guns up. They'd be buried in the graveyard close to my town, and then they'd be smuggled up to the north of Ireland for the fight against the British. So
yeah.
I mean, I obviously come from a very Republican area of Ireland, and we there's living in Ireland, you have a lot of knowledge, and I was up in I did plays up in the north of Ireland, was part of the West Belfast Festival, and I met I met Jerry Adams on a number of occasions, and and I met other IRA members. That was before. As far as researching when I got the job, I really didn't do a whole lot of research when I got the job, but I've been up there and I've met IRA members and all that. So
wow.
But a funny story about the cops and about bikers. In real life, the cops and the bikers are meant to hate each other, the 1%ers and the cops. But the cops are actually huge fans of the Sons of Anarchy. So I'm driving my car in Santa Monica one day. I'm at a crosswalk, and this cop puts on his lights behind me and stops me. And I'm thinking, I didn't see a fucking pedestrian crossing the friggin' crosswalk. What the fuck am I after doing here? So the guy gets out of the car and he comes up to the side window and he says, "Hey man, I'm a big fan." So fucking
Oh, I gotta tell you a quick story about that. I stopped at a stoplight and I didn't know it, but I was supposed to turn right. It was a right lane and I just went straight ahead. And there was a cop directly across the street in a car. So I go and I see the cop turn around and come my way. So I said, I'm going to get fucking pulled over for something. So I pull over, right? And he puts the thing on, I pull over. And he comes walking up to the car. And he looks and he spots me and he goes, "Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here." And my daughter and my girlfriend were in the car and they're going, "You're not going to get my fucking ticket?" And,
that's hilarious.
They love the show,
Yeah, like you said, universally, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what side of the law you're on, you know what I mean? Or what level of person you are, you know what I mean? Like what age you are, it's a universal show with universal fans.
They all made fun of me for not getting the ticket. They wanted me to get the ticket. But one time my girlfriend was driving and she gets stopped. And so she pulls out the Unser card. She should write the license registration. So she says here, and he goes, "You're going a little fast." And she said, "Well, I just left, I don't know where the hell she was going, Memorial or some shit, with my boyfriend." She goes, "Well, who's your boyfriend?" He goes, "Wayne Unser." And the guy goes, "Really?" Okay. And she gives him back the thing and she takes off, But, yeah, they love the show.
All right, so Dayton and Timothy both got out of some tickets there. Michael, Rusty, any stories of getting out of things?
When I had after season 2 and I had my fingers cut off, I was in a bar in New York eating a hamburger, and 2 cops were like a few stools down from me, and they were staring at me, and I was getting nervous, as you do, and they said, "Can't believe you got fingers." So I'm so happy I kept eating my hamburger. But yeah, and I hear that a lot from people, man. I can't believe you really got fingers. Oh, it's so weird to see you with fingers.
Let's get to another fan question. A bunch of people are asking very similar questions. Villain S Pixie on Twitch. Also Joanna Foster, Felicia Dubois. Obviously, it's a very emotionally and challenging show. There's a lot of big emotional scenes that go on, and folks are wondering what was the most challenging, either emotionally or again a lot of stunts too, physically. A scene that you remember that sticks out to you. Shooting from the series for anybody.
It was hard when people split, like when Ryan, when Opie, and then as people would go, because you take it to heart, man. It's like it's like your world that you're living inside of, that you're creating and everything. That was always hard. When things happen, like when things happen on the show, we're all the kind of actors that took it serious, that took it to heart, that really lived it, and you can't help it, but to feel what's going on, in your life and carry it around, and then, and then keep it going. So it was we were all definitely emotionally connected to what was going on all the time.
I just kept saying, better him than me. Okay, another one down. Better than me.
Wayne made it a lot. Dayton, you joked earlier. I mean, Unser made it a good run. He had a good run. Obviously, spoiler alert for anyone watching, but he makes it a good way. What was that like? And you said you didn't know when it was happening. Did you know that season when Wayne ultimately?
No. And actually, I was supposed to live all the way through. They changed for some reason. When I meet with Gemma and to kill her,
right.
She tells me to, please kill me. I was supposed to kill her to spare Charlie from killing her.
Wow. But
at the last minute, Charlie wanted to kill her, or thought it was right, and he ended up killing her. But it was supposed to be I kill, and Charlie kills me. Oh no, how the fuck did it work? Yeah, Charlie kills himself, but I kill his mother because they wanted to save. She tells me, kill me so my son doesn't have to kill his mother.
Wow.
And then they changed that, and he kills his mother.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, still.
But I got paid for the last episode.
Nice.
So, all I did was I laid on the ground, and they stepped over me, and I got paid.
Wow.
So,
wow.
It worked out okay.
Yeah. Amazing scene too. Obviously a very emotional scene as a fan too, taking the ride that long and then having all that kind of come to a head in those final moments. Whew, that was intense.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Michael.
No, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say the scene where I say goodbye to Charlie and shake his hand. I didn't realize that I was like preparing his chariot for him.
Wow.
I was building his bike. And, when you're doing shit, I'm not the kind of person thinks. And I'm just, it's like I just go in and so I was building his bike. And then when I shook his hand and when he rode off, I realized what was going on, and that was pretty cool because it was like a discovery for me after we shot, it was something that happened off camera. But I realized, wow, man, I think he's going to go do something here.
Yeah. Wow.
So It was cool. It was always surprising for us too, man.
You actually had a thought.
Huh?
You actually had a thought.
It was kind of a thought. It was like it was
every week when the new scripts, when the new scripts would come out every week, you'd have to, wonder, am I going to be taken out this week? And it's like nobody was safe. And that's what Kurt said. Remember at the table read at the beginning of season 7, he said, nobody's safe except maybe Charlie, but he said at the end of this one, it's going to be a real short line. Wow. And it was.
Yeah.
I can't even remember everybody that died and lived. I mean, it was like, I can't remember. Did you die?
People died and lived.
Yeah, especially, and a series to kill off many of the main characters too. Not even, any series can get away with sort of the secondary or the henchmen, right? Dying and things like that. But these were big characters that we fell in love with, that we, grew to like really know as characters. Yeah. Timothy, what about you? Were you aware of your end? Now that we're talking about ends here.
Yeah. I mean, they usually tell you the episode before or just before the episode you're to die that you're going to die, and you get a telephone call. But on that particular day, there wasn't a good feeling in the place because Ron got killed and I got killed, but Ron had been in it from the very beginning, you always, if you're going to die, you're hoping that you're going to go out blasting like Butch Cassidy and Sundance, and then they have you just get fucking shot and you lie in sticky fucking red stuff for the whole night, So basically, so that was, there wasn't a good atmosphere, I thought, because Ron was being killed. And also the other tough scene was, as I said, the very first day where I had to give a big speech to all the biker gang, and I had to intimidate them basically. So those were two tough days. As far as working on the show, it was just great fun. I mean, even though I was playing a bad guy and killing people, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Timothy, we lost your video there a second. I don't know if you tapped your phone by accident, but we can hear you still. Oh, there you go. You're back. You're back.
Right, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. You even left us. Yeah. Your call died a little bit there as you were talking about it.
Someone's trying to call me or something.
Was there, Dayton, you mentioned like so many characters and not even remembering. A fan just asked a question, Joanna Foster. Was there a character that stuck out to you as being the biggest surprise, the biggest death surprise of the series for anyone out there?
Me.
Yeah. Like I said, you made it. You made it all the way to almost the end. Almost the end.
I said, I'm going to fucking make it. It's going to be home free. Then the motherfucker kills me. No? So what kind of shit is that? I ended up beating cancer and everything, and all of a sudden I get shot. Charlie? So that was a surprise.
Yeah. Anyone else? I know Opie was a big one for fans.
How about Bobby? When Bobby.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Right?
That one too.
That was like quick.
Bobby
was like
Bobby got mad. Bobby got mad.
Yeah,
he got mad. He didn't want to die. He got mad.
I think Ron wasn't too happy about it either,
Ron,
right?
Yeah, Ron got pissed off too.
Yeah, I remember that.
No.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, but at least the show went out, in its own way. And the story is ultimately a tragedy. A lot of people compare it to Hamlet. You know what I mean? Like it's very Shakespearean, and that's what happens in these stories. Everyone eventually turns on everyone, and that's how it goes. No one makes it in the end.
Life,
yeah, that's life. It's ultimately a tragic story.
Let's Hollywood, right?
I mean, right? Yeah. Let's talk about Kurt because, my gosh, what an influence he's had in multiple series. But obviously, Kurt Sutter, the show creator. Oftentimes a show creator will kind of get the show started 1 or 2, 3 seasons and then passes it off to other writers, and just kind of stays in the background and produces. But Kurt was he was acting in it. He was there directing for every series finale. I'd love to hear a little bit from each one of you about your experience working with Kurt and what he meant to the show.
I think he's a great guy. I mean, I love working with him, and I've met him outside, gone on bike rides with him and stuff, and he's very talented and very unique, and I think he brought, it was a great accomplishment doing what he did, so yeah. I have nothing but good things to say about him, actually.
Yeah, in the 8 seasons, was it 8 or 7?
Seven.
I can't even remember. in the 7 seasons, I only had basically one conversation with Kurt. I mean, I had, just figured it's safer if I don't talk to this guy. So I got through like 7 years without having a conversation. I mean, once in a while it would point, and I would get it. But he was obviously good to me, and
yeah.
I appreciate everything he did. I appreciate the scenes and all that. It was fucking great. But we really didn't have too many conversations,
Maybe that's why Unser made it so long. You played it safe. You played it safe.
I'm sure I'll say something to piss him off, and so I get fucked up.
Yeah. Michael, Rusty, any?
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. He was real hands on. He acted in it. He wrote it. He created it. He did it. He's an artist, so an old school artist. Like like the way guys made movies in the 70s. Back then, they did everything. You write it, you film it, you shoot it. Even maybe it's your piece of work. It's like a painting, like the way I paint. So he was involved 100% and molding it, steering it, and bringing it this way and that way, and then hopping in to act in it and play that character, that complicated character, and all that stuff. So it was, for me, and I know Kurt a long time, man. I met him a long time ago, and so that was the way, it's an old school kind of way to work, that a lot of people don't work in, but I think it's really fantastic to work that way.
It's interesting you mentioned the 70s. You definitely get that raw, gritty feel, you know what I mean, in the series.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it feel real and not just kind of, schlocky, if you will, Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Castillo wants to know, we'll start with you, Rusty, because obviously the question is yes, or the answer is yes. Joe Castillo wants to know, do you guys ride? And if so, what are you riding?
Yeah, I've been in the motorcycle scene since 1974, as far as Harley Davidsons go. I've been in the club world since 1980s, and I ride Victory Harley, and I have a BMW. I've got 171 horsepower on 2 of my bikes.
Nice.
Real close. I mean, those things are fast. And the other one's probably got about 130. And yeah, I ride all the time.
Yeah. Thanks. Dave, Michael, Timothy, I know your characters weren't the main characters that were in part of the club, or, I mean, Michael, you were obviously, but any experience or have you picked up motorcycle or riding since?
I actually just would rent, like, whenever we do trips like that, because I had a my first bike was a Triumph, 500cc Triumph, and it was back in the 60s. But I hit a car head on, and that was the end of that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So, we went. The only reason I'm here is because my cousin and I were on the bike, and we hit the guy made a left turn, and we hit the dead center and we went up. Instead of going in, we went up. I mean, we landed in these bushes. It was in Florida. We landed in these bushes and got all cut up, but it saved our lives, But so I got rid of that bike, and then I didn't ride again much until the show, and then I would just, rent bikes. I liked a Fat Bob, But then we all went down to Pendleton to the hospital one time. We took a bunch of us on the bikes to go visit the troops, and I almost killed myself. I almost ran into the side of a truck. So, I stopped getting on bikes. They said that's not good for you. But
Michael,
I grew up in Jersey. We had dirt bikes. And I was like 12. We used to go all over the place with the fire roads and like where the meadowlands were. That was all like enduro tracks that people before me made. So I grew up with dirt bikes and stuff, and then I had a lot of like used bikes in the city, throughout my life, and now I got a Triumph now.
Awesome.
I've a Harley, and I didn't grow up with bikes or anything. I drove friends' bikes sometimes, but this guy who was a Harley dealership, Timothy Wheelahan out in Carolina, wanted me to do an appearance out there, and then he was back in LA, and we've a mutual friend, and he said, "My God, I'd love to get on the Sons of Anarchy." And I said, "Fuck it, I can't get you on the Sons of Anarchy. It's a hit show. He can't, he's not an actor or anything. But he's a big, bulky kind of guy, with a goatee and looks the type, tattoos and all that." So I said, and my buddy says, "Look, he might be able to get you on as an extra. If he gets you on as an extra, would you give him a Harley?" And he said, "Yeah, man, I give him a Harley, no problem. Business, So I fucking got the guy on as an extra, and I got a fucking Harley's. I've been riding it since,
Hey, good deal. Good deal. Good work.
Always fucking trying to find ways to make money or get you fucking good.
That's awesome. Gentlemen, we are just about out of time. I just want to remind the fans, this has been such an awesome conversation reflecting back on the series. I know I rewatched it again. I know a lot of people rewatching it. So shout out to all the fans watching across the country, across the world right now. Just know that if you have an individual question you want to ask these awesome gentlemen, those one-on-one video chats are still on sale to the top of the hour, and then they'll be taking place in about 15, 20 minutes time. So definitely take advantage of that at wizardworldvirtual.com. And also just know that autographs, video recorded messages will be happening and on sale throughout the week. If you're watching this live or you're watching this later. Gentlemen, I want to just go around the room one more time. Shout out to the fans. Any final remarks? I'll say that Janet at Barry. Michael is specifically asking about your artwork. What I'd love to know is a little bit, and anything you have upcoming, also from the fan. Nicole Michaels wants to know what you've been doing during this downtime and what we can look forward to seeing you working on in the future. So, Dayton, why don't we start with you? What you've been doing and coming up?
Yeah, I mean, the day I was supposed to start production on a movie that we'll eventually maybe get to. And then the pandemic hit, and that was put on hold, but exactly, I was supposed to start the next week. We were supposed to start shooting, and I don't want to give out the name, but because it's bullshit anyway, it'll change. But that's, that was what I was going to do. And so right now I'm just hanging out talking to these guys.
Yeah. Hey, well, we appreciate you being here. Michael, tell us a little bit about your art, and then, what any other things you have coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I paint every day. I paint. I've been writing. So during this whole pandemic, man, we've been hunkered in, and I've just been working and working, trying to stay busy every day. And us two were supposed to go back to work with Mayans, like in April. So that was put off. So everything is like in a state of suspended animation. So I'm just trying to fill up every day. I got kids, so I'm teaching my kids, and I'm cooking, and my wife's working from home, thank God. So that's happening, and we got our own little world here, man.
Yeah.
So
well, we wish you luck. We can't wait to get to season 3, I think, right, of Mayans. I know Anna Temblador said she hopes that Chucky gets the family that he's always been longing for. So
awesome, man.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for Chucky. Rusty, tell us about your band. Anything you've been doing there, and then your shop, obviously.
Yeah, the band, I'm on hiatus right now. I just kind of burned out with that right now, and I've been doing a lot of construction. I'm a general contractor also, and I like building stuff. And I build some crazy medieval looking stuff. So I get all into that, and work till weird hours of the night on that stuff a lot of the time. And then I still do stuff with cars, bikes, anything that's a challenge. Like I just recently took a Tesla that was, the whole front end was gone on the thing. It was total, rebuilt that thing. I'm driving that thing around, no sound. It's weird, man.
Rusty, you still making those wagons, the carriages?
The big chariots?
Yes.
I haven't made one lately, but I'm going to do one that's all electric next instead of the gas, because when people are riding in those, you get the fumes from the engines. Could you imagine Central Park having the badass chariots like those things that I made, but electric, being towed by something real cool that's electric, so they don't have the whole problem with the horses, with the fumes, nothing,
That'd be beautiful, man.
Yeah.
You just insulted the guy. You know what I mean? Do you make those wagons?
You got to see them, man.
And then he said, they're chariots. Okay, they're chariots.
Sure.
Now you still make those fucking wagons.
Oh, wait.
Words
get a picture.
Words come to me when they come, man. Words.
I like that, Russ.
You got to think before shit comes out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
I forgot how to think.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's cool, guys.
Oh, there you go. That looks like a fucking. That's a chariot. That's not a wagon.
That thing's got a 400 horsepower V8 towing it.
There.
But it scares the hell out of the
Look at that.
back.
Wow. That's awesome. Rusty, where can we see? You have a website or a place that fans can go to check out your work?
You could just go on the internet and type in my name or Illusion Cycles, and a lot of stuff there's probably going to be at least 60 motorcycles, some cars, some chariots and stuff that'll pop up. I built about 10 of these in various different styles.
Wow. Some
of them are big, like limousines, all kinds of stuff. But what I'm doing now is I'm transitioning to electric for a lot of this crazy stuff. It makes more sense. And that's awesome. I got this thing about Central Park, man. I want to do one of those over there and just test it. I think it'd go over pretty good,
Oh, it's a good idea, man. Summertime, those horses get hot, man.
Yeah, the horses sit there. It's like torture, and electric, there's nothing going on. There's no moving parts hardly, and there's no smog. So it's better for everybody, the environment, the people,
Yep.
You perform well, man. I can make these things look as good as any Harley or car or whatever,
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Rusty. That's as a New Yorker living in New York right now, I think that would be awesome. Not only the horses, but then the petty crab drivers, man, they are just not, they don't make a ton of money, and this would be an awesome flary way for them to entice people to come onto their pedicabs. That's super cool. Super cool.
Wagons by Rusty.
endorsed. Michael, you could do the artwork for it. Oh man, we got a match here, I think. Timothy, congrats again on the recent season of Snowpiercer. I know it was awesome for us. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's
like it.
Yeah, Cinderella style.
Rusty, I might talk to you about building some vintage kind of bobber bike at some
You know
stage,
what?
man.
The funny thing, I can build anything. I don't care if it's a house, a car, a bike, whatever, as long as it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That thing's covered in quartz. What do they call those crystals? The
Quartz
whole thing.
crystals.
Yeah.
Underneath it, on the top, everywhere, it's covered in crystals.
Wow.
Wow.
And so is the track that tows it.
Wow. Man.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
We'll
those are
call it
beautiful.
Chariots of Anarchy now, okay? Yeah.
COA. Cam Crow? I don't know if that works. Timothy, tell us again. Just congrats on Snowpiercer, fun series. What are you most excited for coming up, and what have you been doing kind of to pass the time?
Well, I did a series with Jessica Alba called LA's Finest, but that's not popular right now, obviously, LA's Finest. You know? So they pulled that, and I think they'll probably show it later on. And then I did a movie called New Year, and I think that just before the pandemic or the lockdown, and basically painting the house, dealing with unemployment, all actors, you know. I mean, there's a lot of hardship out there. I mean, it's my sole way of living, you know, so it's the only income coming in. So when that stops, the whole industry just shut down for, 5 months or whatever, and everyone involved in the industry is dealing with unemployment and having to feed the family and all that. So I think there's a lot of hardship out there that we're not even hearing about. And, having young kids not going to school, hanging around all the time. And, so my heart goes out to everybody in the industry that's struggling right now, you know.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot that people can do out there. Save the Stages is a great organization, especially the crew, the carpenters and the set designers and the electricians and the engineer, really, they really are just completely out of work. And so our love goes out to them. Gentlemen, we are out of time. I want to thank you so much. For all the fans out there, please, another big round of emojis. Go back. It's all there on Hulu. Watch it again. Watch it for the first time. Sons of Anarchy, a brilliant show, one of the most successful shows in the recent, 10 years. When we got to talk to these awesome gentlemen and hear all their amazing stories. Let's give it up one more time for Dayton Callie, Michael Ornstein, Rusty Coones, and Timothy V. Murphy, everybody.
Hey, this is Alex Malari Jr., and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Your Emperor commands it. Thanks for watching.